Looking at some of the GOP primary candidates and their qualifications for public office, I guess I want to ask you, what criteria is the GOP applying when selecting people like Doug Mastriano or Kathy Burnett, two radical extremists for governor and Senate? Are you comfortable with these choices? And is there any Republican candidate that you won't endorse? Can you name me one?
Well, a little breaking news. Dr. Oz is the nominee for Senate.
No,
Kathy
I
Burnett is
understand
not the
that,
Senate
Dr.
nominee.
Oz, and that's a
So,
whole other issue. But Kathy Burnett is whom the GOP establishment had supported, and they had Trump endorsed Oz, but the GOP establishment wanted Burnett.
no. GOP establishment wanted David McCormick. He was the hedge fund guy. The
Well,
grassroots kind of more
okay.
base, they wanted Kathy Burnett. But I think that the thing that you and I, Dave, always talk about, at least my mantra in life, I try, and it's hard in this day and age, rather than cursing the darkness to light a candle. And I think that the liberal media so often focuses on people that they want to make fun of and take them at their worst moment and caricature them, rather than putting up people who are the future of the Republican Party, people who you do like, Dave. Like, who are people that you love, Dave? Like in my district, Karina Lipsman, she's running against the Democrat Don Beyer, and she just got the Republican nomination. She's a Ukrainian immigrant. She is the American dream story. Her parents came here. I think she was raised by a single mom in public housing, and she went on to get a master's from Johns Hopkins University, successful businesswoman. Why aren't you talking about her? Why are we talking about John James in Michigan? Like, the people who I think that you want to support, Dave. And so often instead you're focused on people that really get under your skin because you allow the liberal media to
Come on,
take
come
your
on.
frame of reference
They
and
don't.
attack these people.
The reason these people get under
and the
my
thing about
skin.
Kathy Barnett is
No, but I'm just saying, Doug Mastriano and Russ Douthat wrote a very good column saying America has a Doug Mastriano problem. This guy is a sword-carrying election denier. And the reason that there's concern, because these people are going to be elected in states that are going to determine the next election. And that's part of this whole thing when people talk about the slow-moving coup, about people that are being chosen who are election deniers. So it didn't work last time, but yes, if Brad Ravensburger, who fortunately looks like he's going to hold on in Georgia, if those kind of people can be overthrown, the people that stood up to, I just need a certain number of votes. Can you support my fake electors? All this stuff. That's the reason, okay? And you always say, you bring up these second-tier candidates. Yes, and there are some candidates in both parties who are running who are good people. But the main candidates who are running for the jobs in the states that are going to make the difference, those are the people that have the red flags. And you look at people that sell out, they sell their soul. Look at J.D. Vance. He was someone whom I used to admire. So, you're burying your head in the sand if you're saying, let's pay attention to the fact that Don Beyer has a good challenger in Virginia, and you wink and you nod at these candidates who are totally unqualified, like Herschel Walker, who, is peddling some spray to cure COVID. I mean, these are people that are being put up with no qualifications at all.
Well, I actually did a research backgrounder for the Daily Wire, specifically on Mastriano. And what I did was I went and I looked at his proposals for election reform. And they're pretty reasonable. For example, he wants to ban the use of drop boxes because there were so many questions about the drop boxes. And that passed in one of the chambers of the Pennsylvania legislature. I believe they're waiting to move it over to the other one. And then the other proposal he has put forward is that he wants to ban outside spending. They call them the Zuck bucks, like Mark Zuckerberg coming in and spending $500 million in the election. You, as somebody who wants to get money out of politics, I don't see why you wouldn't agree with this proposal from Mastriano.
Yes, but those are proposals.
The fact that, because what's really distressing is that this money was not distributed equally. It was not distributed based on equitable use of the funds. It was specifically disproportionately targeting, giving subsidies to Democrat districts. And I find that a threat to democracy.
But again, Carrie, you're focusing on the micro, which I think is a distraction. The macro is Doug Mastriano, like David Perdue, who fortunately got thumped in Georgia, has said he would have not certified the election. Okay, he would have done everything he could to make sure Pennsylvania's electors didn't go for Joe Biden. That, to me, is a lot more consequential than campaign finance or drop boxes. Wouldn't you agree? Because if someone's going to overturn an election, those other laws don't matter.
Well, if you look specifically in Pennsylvania, there was a partisan makeup of the state Supreme Court that was making rulings that many Republicans disagreed with. And the fact of the matter is people disagree with court rulings all the time. Many people are going to be disagreeing with the likely reversal of Roe versus Wade. That is okay. That's part of the process to disagree with a court ruling. So again, that's part of the healthy and yes, people who go too far, and engage in violence or trying to pressure a judge, in a way that is unethical or illegal against the code. I don't endorse any of that, but I think that the ability to disagree with the court ruling and say, I have this evidence, I have these arguments, or whatever, you're allowed to disagree with the court ruling, don't you? Aren't you allowed, Dave?
Disagreeing is one thing, okay? And, it's like somebody said, well, I don't, Terry McAuliffe said, I would do this or I would do that. It's one thing to verbally say something. It's another to be in a position where you can physically overturn the results of a free and fair election. And that's what Doug Mastriano wants to do. That's what he said he should have been done. And that's what he said he would do were he governor of Pennsylvania. So I think that's a red flag.
Well, he's putting his proposals through the legislative process, the Democratic lowercase d process, and he's doing things by the book. So and at the end of the day, it was certified. So it is what.
Yeah, it was certified in 2020, but he said it wouldn't have been. If he'd been governor, it would have been. And will it be in 2024? That is the question.